OnlyOneOf's libidO choreo explained. You know you need it. libidO is the title track from OnlyOneOf's mini-album Instinct Part 1. The term libido denotes sexual desire or sex drive. It was coined by the father of psychoanalysis, Sigmund Freud. You have probably heard about Freud's personality theory. He identified three structures of the human mind: the id, the instinctual part, that contains sexual and aggressive drives and responds directly and immediately to urges, needs, and desires; the superego, which operates as a moral conscience and controls the id's impulses, especially those which society forbids; and the ego, which is the realistic part, that mediates between the desires of the id and the superego. Here is what the creators say about libidO. The title track libidO shares a boy's impulsive mind through the expressions of Sigmund Freud. The mind's energy libidO is considered as a feeling that shouldn't be openly talked about in real life and should be concealed, so its existence is often denied. However, the more the boy tries to suppress libidO, the stronger it gets, and the more impact it has on his subconscious behavior. In other words, the concept behind this song is a young person's sexual awakening in the struggle between desire and inhibitions. This idea is expressed through the lyrics, MV storyline and choreography. Let's begin. First verse. Tying wrists. Remember Freud's theory? What we have here is a representation of the struggle between the mind and sexuality. Focus on these two group members. One person represents the superego, or morals. The other is the id, or desire. Tying the rope symbolizes exerting control. The mind is stronger and keeps libidO under control, suppresses it. LibidO wants to break free. The rope isn't tied. Notice how the members spread out after being huddled together. First drop. Take a look at this formation. Here is the member who represents the superego. He assumes the dominant, central position, standing up. The member who represents the id is on his knees, being dominated. Notice how the members who are down are mirroring the centered hand movement that shows suffocating and can be interpreted as containing one's wants. Crawling away, getting back to the upright position. LibidO is fighting with the conscious mind, becoming stronger. Note how throat grabbing is repeated multiple times during the choreo. And so is the hush gesture. Sexuality is something to be curbed and not talked about. Second verse. Again, we have two members. One represents libidO and the other one is a person who is trying to repress it. The member puts the belt around the other's neck, which stands for taking control. However, at the same time, he is pulling libidO closer to him. You feel something is wrong, but you want it badly anyway. Are we in a tailor shop suddenly? My interpretation is this: the person is showing that he has the means to tame libidO, but refrains from doing it, or it is libidO that doesn't allow for being restricted. Second drop. Can you spot the difference? Look who is in the dominant position right now. At the first drop, it was the superego. Now it is the id, or libidO. Desire is getting stronger and stronger. Bridge. This is a critical moment. Sexuality is so strong it can no longer be ignored or controlled. One last attempt to curb it. Then, just like earlier, libidO is pulled closer. Release. The conscious mind gives up and frees the id. Sexual energy is liberated. Notice how the creators present this part. In the performance, other members move far away, leaving the center stage for these two. The camera moves to a close-up. Notice how deliberate this is. The move could have been toned down through camera work and/or editing, but the makers chose otherwise. LibidO is boldly and unashamedly looking straight at the camera. The feeling of desire is accepted, and any awkwardness or shame is abandoned. Sexuality is something to be talked about openly. Third drop. As you can see, the formation is different from what we saw earlier. The members are wider apart and therefore have more room to move and more air to breathe, so to speak. They are also moving with more fluidity. Closing part. Here we have the member representing the superego. Now it is him who is being tied up. We let go of restrictions/inhibitions. libidO has the upper hand. Let's now take a quick look at the MV storyline. Have you noticed how the creators presented the concept of giving in to desire in the MV? The vital part happens during the bridge, when we see the members who gather together to eat and drink. What comes to my mind is eating the forbidden fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Also, did you notice what they are eating? Grapes and wine. Wine is the symbol of transformation. Seen as a turning point. Notice how in the part of the MV that comes earlier, there are a lot of close-ups. They are used to create the feeling of intimacy. However, they may also be interpreted as carrying the sense of confinement. After the dinner scene, we see several wide shots, which convey the idea of freedom/liberation. Another symbol of being free is running. Also, there is a bit when a member's hands are being tied up. A few seconds later the hands are free. Finally, I would like to point out how the creators presented us with two MV versions. We have the white, proper or covered version, and black, passionate or overt version. That's it. Thanks for sticking till the end. Do you think I missed something, or got something wrong? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Bye.
온리원오브 특제 장갑 뭐가 숨겨져 있냐? 짜자잔. 주자가 숨겨져 있습니다.